war, there will be suffering.
Well, joining me live to discuss now is Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, former US Ambassador to Malta and current non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. Ambassador, welcome to you. Always good to have you on the programme. So we have seen aid starting to get into Gaza. The needs are clearly tremendously great. Do you have confidence that this will be enough to make a meaningful impact amid dire circumstances?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Helena. It will depend, of course, on the Israeli government. By changing what has been the case until the last couple of days, that is, setting out official corridors that the United Nations can now publicly depend on as best as possible as a safe corridor to get aid in, by allowing airdrops. That is if a tacit admission by the government of Israel that they have indeed been blocking aid. They have indeed been blocking food. It is very clear to everyone that food is being used as a weapon of war. The international community has risen up. The international groups that are meeting of statements from European states, the upcoming meeting this week hosted by France, possible recognition of a Palestinian state by others than France is putting pressure on Israel. And if that pressure maintains, then we could count on this continuing. But the reality is, if they were concerned about Hamas stealing food, which has not been proved, the clear and quick answer is to have unfettered food into the Gaza Strip. That would alleviate any leverage that Hamas had. So using food as a weapon is what we are all seeing. Hopefully this signals a lasting change.
Ambassador, you were mentioning the fact that particularly over the course of this past week, we have seen international condemnation ramping up when it comes to Israel with regards to the nutritional situation, the humanitarian situation. Do you think that pressure will continue? Do you think it could change anything more beyond the humanitarian response?
I would argue at this time it's unlikely unless and until the United States, President Trump, changes his position or at least gives it his full attention once again. We've seen what he could do in the past. The first day of him taking office, a ceasefire went into effect. So we know he can do it when he chooses to do it. We saw that when he wanted a ceasefire to hold in the war between Israel and Iran. He got planes to turn around midair. We know he can do it. He said when he came into office that he would get a ceasefire and that he'd get the hostages home. He has not done either as yet. And so he's got to give it his full attention for that to happen.
And with regards to the hostages, do you see any scenario, any world in which Hamas agrees to free them without Israel agreeing to a permanent end to the war?
It is, again, highly unlikely. As soon as the hostages are released, I'm sure Hamas is doing its best to take good care of them. But as soon as they are released, of course, then we've seen what Israel is willing to do, even with the hostages unaccounted for, in danger in the Gaza Strip. Once they are released, then all bets are lost. And so far, nothing has proved to be too much for the government of Israel in the prime minister's stated goal of eradicating Hamas. In addition to U.S. pressure on Israel, I will add that there is an ability for regional pressure to be increased. Israel absolutely values those countries that have signed the Abraham Accord, its diplomatic partners with Egypt and Jordan. Certainly President Trump does. There is strength in numbers if those in the region decide to stand together to counsel their new friend and ally, Israel, against what they are doing. We could see change from that as well.
Briefly, if you don't mind, Ambassador, you mention US pressure, and you've said that it is within Donald Trump's grasp to ramp up that pressure. What levers do you think he could press that he hasn't yet applied pressure to?
I would say simply the levers that he was willing to press when he took office and the levers he was willing to press when he said, stop bombing Iran. Those levers worked. We all saw that they worked, and they are at his disposal.
Ambassador Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, former US ambassador to Malta and current non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. As ever, great to have your insights. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.